Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. Hope all of you are doing well. This is a video session on daily news and editorial analysis dated 1st of January 2024. Through this video session, I'll be discussing the important news and editorial both from the Hindu and Indian Express. The analysis of the news will specifically cater the aspirant of civil services examination, state public service commission examination, and various one-day examination conducted by Government of India and other state government. So this analysis in this session will help you to understand the news and editorial from the examination perspective. And before I start this session, warm wishes for the happy new year 2024. May the Almighty bless you to come up with the strongest and get the fortune, and even wish you all the best for the upcoming years, the exam that will be appearing for. I wish that all of you succeed in the upcoming years. So wish you a happy new year, starting with the news highlights of the day. Then we'll proceed with the detailed analysis of the news one by one. So the first news is about the 16 finance commissions that has been recently approved by the union government. Actually, the appointment of the new chairperson for 16 finance commission has been there by the union government. The second important news talks about the navy that has deployed the frigates in the part of the commercial vehicle. We have recently seen some of the escalation there in the region. So to combat and to have a preventive measures, Indian Navy have taken some steps. The third important news talks about the 4G services that government actually said that there will be coming up more towers in the border and international border area of India. The second last news talks about the Aadhaar link of the Manrega payment. This is something which has been made a mandate. Now from 1st of January 2024 onwards, it will be an Aadhaar linked payment, right? And I'll be concluding the session with today's editorial that talks about flood and the preventive measures that needs the view. So basically this particular editorial is also important for disaster management and for case study paper in general studies paper 4. So let's get started with the detailed analysis of the news one by one. The first important news is about the 16th Finance Commission. Now this becomes very significant after the government has actually come up with a final approval of its chairperson. तो 16 फाइनेंस कमीशन के जो खास करके चेयरपर्सन की बात करें, चेयरमैन की बात करें, दिस इज अरविंद पनागड़िया. राइट नाउ he was actually the vice chairman of Niti Aayog. This is also important. You need to know the former office of Mr. Panagadia. So he has become the chairman of 16 Finance Commission. Very relevant for the one-day examination, specifically for the banking examination. Right. So now you need to know what are the other details of, or specifically the term of reference, to call it TOR, or the mandate of the 16 Finance Commission, which is important for the prelims examination also. So what is the mandate that is given to the 16 Finance Commission? First, the government has actually said that there will be some recommendations which will be given by the 16 Finance Commission, and this recommendations will be taken into consideration by the Government of India, right? So what are the parts that they will be taken into consideration? First is about the allocations of taxes जो union government, or you can say the central government, the center और state के बीच में जो distributions है, the distributions of the net proceeds will be taken into consideration. These are specifically mentioned under chapter 1 part 12 of the Indian Constitution. Then the commission will determine the principle for grant in aid, right? We call it GIA, grant in aid, for the different state, and this will be under the CFI, that is Consolidated Fund of India, right? That is amount to be paid under Article 275 of the Indian Constitution. Now identifying the measures to enhance the State Consolidated Fund of India, this is called as SFI, right? खास करके ये जो SFI होती हैं उसमें किस तरह से इंक्रीज करने की जरूरत है फॉर द पंचायत एंड म्युनिसिपैलिटी, that will be based on the recommendations even by the State Finance Commission, and the final call will be taken by the Finance Commission of India, right? Now the 16th Finance Commission has been tasked to review the current financial arrangement of disaster management. जो disaster management की current distributions हैं, जो financial allocations हैं, उसके बारे में भी ये review करेंगे, and even they will be establishing a disaster management act and the relevant recommendations that has to be given, right? So the entire part will be taken into consideration by the 16th Finance Commission, which will definitely call for a cooperative federalism, ensuring that the state government is getting their right share. Now, what are the constitutional provisions when it comes to the Finance Commission? If you look at the part of the Finance Commission, कुछ important constitutional mandate है. There is Article 268 which facilitate the levy of duty to the center with the collection and retention by the state. So this is a provision which is there in the Constitution of India, right? तो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया में ये एक्चुअल मेंशन है. 280 की बात करें जो कि आउटलाइन करती है फाइनेंस कमीशन के कंपोजिशन को. इफ यू लुक एट द कंपोजिशन, there is a specific article 280 which call for the composition, qualifications, members and terms of reference. This is better known as TOR. So every finance commission has to come up with a term of reference. Now it mandate to recommend, the finance commission is something to recommend the distribution of the net proceed of taxes between the union and the states. Uske alawa, it will also address the financial relations between the union state and the devolutions of unplanned revenue resources. Now, brief about Finance Commission. I expect that most of you must have read the details from various books. One among the common book is from the M. Lakshmikant. So, Finance Commission is a balancing wheel of Indian federalism in the Constitution of India. This is what the Constitution of India is actually. Article 280 मैंने आपको बताया, Part 12 में इसके बारे में जिक्र है. And this is constituted as a quasi-judicial body. Right? This is constituted by the President of India. Right? Members की बात करें, chairman and other member are 4 members including the High Court judges. Authority to decide the qualification, कौन decide करेंगे इनकी qualification, that is Parliament. Tenure to be specified by President and reappointment is eligible. These are some of the factual information, right? जो कि आपके examination specifically prelims के लिए काफी ज़्यादा relevant है. The power of civil court is vested with the Finance Commission as per the Civil Code of Procedures which has been recently changed by the new bill, right? और ये कुछ major recommendations हैं जो कि Finance Commission actually President को देते हैं. So you can check out the details. Even you can take this screenshot for the revision purposes. It is pretty relevant for the prelims examination. Now moving ahead with other news, Indian Navy deploy frontline destroyer frigates at Arabian Sea. रिसेंट खास करके जो अटैक की बात करें हouthi की रेड सी में भी अटैक्स देखी गई और इंडियन वेसल और इंडियन नेवी ने एक्चुअली इस चीज़ को प्रिवेंटिव मेजर्स देखते हुए टोटल 4 डिस्ट्रॉयर जो है उसमें 1 फ्रिगेट 1 P-81 लॉन्ग पेट्रोल एयरक्राफ्ट जो है वो अरेबियन सी गल्फ ऑफ एडन में basically they have been deployed to ensure the part of global maritime security, right? So this is something very important by the Indian Navy that has come up with the concrete action as a preventive measures also. Now the other details about the task group that was formed. So this task group comprises of destroyer frigates that will undertake the part of operations, and even assistance from the merchant vehicle will be taken if any kind of incidents or accident take place. It has added that aerial surveillance by long-range marine patrol aircraft with robotic process automation. This is known as RPA. तो RPA के थ्रू ये सारी चीजें की जाएंगी and they will have a complete maritime domains to have a surveillance even for the EEG, that is exclusive economic zone. So this is again important. अगर बात करें सी की तो EEZ काफी ज़्यादा important हो जाती है and even a close coordination will be there between Indian Navy and Coast Guard. Now monitoring the Arabian Sea, so this will be further closely there by the northern and the part of the Central Arabian in coordinations with the national maritime agencies, and Indian Navy is committed to ensure safety of the merchant ship that is in this particular region of Arabian Sea, specifically the central region and the northern region. Now there's a global effort also. I mean, if you look at the recent part, मैंने आपके साथ discuss भी किया, I have made a discussion to the part of Red Sea where recently the Prime Minister of India and Israeli Prime Minister has made a discussion to Houthi threat of maritime security in the Red Sea. Or Defense Secretary US की अगर बात करें, they have come up with the special provision or special multinational operation which was known as multi-operation Guardian. So this is multi-operation Guardian, right? Operation Prosperity Guardian, which called for in the specifically Red Sea, जहाँ पे यमन और जो ईरान के रीजन है वहाँ पे हouthis की जो अटैक्स हैं उससे बचने के लिए ये ग्लोबल एफर्ट्स ली गई. So this is again important. OPS, that is the Operation Prosperity Guardian. This is important for prelims examination also. और इस ग्रुप में कुछ मेंबर कंट्रीज हैं विच इंक्लूड यूनाइटेड किंगडम, बहरीन, Canada, France, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Seychelles, and Spain. So these are the member countries of the which group for the operating prosperity cartels. Now this group will conduct a joint patrol in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. So this is something I'm adding on the part of the recent development which was there by the government of India. Now, the center has approved 4G mobile services along with India. I mean, specifically for the India's international border. Ministry of Home Affairs की अगर बात करें, MHA, they have come up with the year end review or year end review में actual में they have said that they're planning to install 1100 borders outpost and international border including the border of China. So they have approved the plan and this establishment will take place very soon. Now there will be a tripartite agreement which will be there. So this agreement will be between the Department of Telecommunication. Then we have BSNL, right? So BSNL will be coordinating in the part of the execution process, and the project costing will cover almost 1,117 outposts of the intelligence post and event for the armed forces and intelligence bureau. See, connectivity as of now has become very important. We have come across the news where in Mount Everest 5G services were actually being started by Chinese personnel. And even if you look at the news, Huawei is a company which has actually made a tower to the region. तो इस तरह को ध्यान में रखते हुए गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने भी कोशिश की है कि जो कनेक्टिविटी की सर्विसेज है वो बॉर्डर एरिया तक इंश्योर करने की जरूरत है. Now, what is the significance of 4G services? If you look at the part, I mean, बहुत सारे इसके benefits हैं. It facilitate the real time information, even quicker information share की जाती है. उसके अलावा empower करेगी troops को, specifically in the part of signaling system. Signaling में help होगी. उसके अलावा it will help the training materials, communications to the families, boosting the part of morale and well-being of an individual, the personnel which is actually deployed in the region. The project primarily focused on the Chinese border and will encompasses the frontier like Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh and Myanmar. Although Nepal or Bangladesh, Myanmar के साथ हमारी friendly relation है, but when it comes to China, specifically China और अगर पाक की बात करें पाकिस्तान, we do not have that cordial relation. We'll have to be more vigilant on this part. Now, if you look at the other significance of 4G services in general, although we are in 5G right now, and even we are planning to shift to 6G very soon, but for military, for international borders, it is very tough to come with this high-end services. So government is initially planning for 4G, which will have a higher data transfer rate, high-speed browsing, and even it will revolutionize the mobile and TV towers, high-quality service, and even it will have a bit cost is also low. So this is how the entire significance of 4G services goes. Now progress so far, अगर बात करें जितनी villages थी जो है hamlets हैं 379 villages hamlets were there with the 4G connection, specifically which include the region in the UT Ladakh. Mobile towers वहाँ established किए गए हैं and the completion of 34 site has actually been completed. Since 2020, India and China has been engaging in this standoff. अगर line of actual control की बात करें Eastern Ladakh region में there has been continued standoff which has even led to the halt in the infrastructure process, the development of the installations of the mobile tower in the region. Now, moving ahead, Aadhaar-based payment system for Manrega workers, something very important. See, it has a positive side, it has a negative side. I'll discuss that. So, अगर बात करें वर्कर्स की महात्मा गांधी नेशनल रूरल एम्प्लॉयमेंट गारंटी एक्ट की, तो इसके थ्रू आधार पेमेंट सिस्टम जो की जाती है ABPS. So Aadhaar based payment system will be there. This has a lot of significance. It will ensure that no leakages and no middleman is there in the payment between an individual and the entity that is involved in the payment. But downside भी है कि इंडिया में अभी कई ऐसे लोग हैं, they are not actually aware how to use it, how to use the smartphone. So this will be linked with the smartphone. So they need to have a more proper formal training to the individual who is doing so with APS. Now, बात करें अगर integrations की, so the from 2024 onwards, government has said that from January 2024, the government is planning to come up with the detailed part of the payment with the Aadhaar-based payment system, जहाँ पे detail of worker will be taken into consideration. This was a fifth extension that was given to the state government. हर एक state को बोला गया था कि अब 31st December 2023 तक सारी integration process को align कर ले, because government will be doing the entire process from 2024 on an online or in the Aadhaar based payment system. The Ministry of Rural Development shows that 34.8% of the job card holders remain eligible for the mode of the payment as on December 23. We'll see whether the government is extending it further or even allowing the other people, the margin amount of the population which is there, to again re-register for this particular part. Now, क्या significance है आधार based payment system की? If you look at the part, it has a something. I mean, you can also use it for other way like money transfer के लिए use की जा सकती है. You can use for imports, PPS, prepaid card, balance inquiry, cash withdrawal, and then cash deposit. These are the some of the benefits of the Aadhaar enabled payment system, which is actually taken care by even the UPI, that is NPCI's umbrella body, taking care for the entire part. Now, moving ahead about the editorial, that is the flood and preventive measures, the need and review part. This is again something very important that will give you an insight how the disaster management can be taken into consideration. And this particular article or editorial will help you in general studies paper 4, जहाँ पे अगर केस स्टडीज की बात करें, केस स्टडीज के पेपर में कई बार ये चीजें यहाँ पे relevant होंगी. So what I'll be discussing first, we'll see the danger in the home without power. क्या problems होती हैं, पावर कट की जाती है ड्यूरिंग द पार्ट ऑफ एनी फ्लड समथिंग इज देयर, बट उसके डाउन साइड्स भी पॉजिटिव्स भी हैं. डिसीजन मेकिंग इन क्राइसिस, हाउ वी शुड टेक, दिस इज अगेन इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर सिविल सर्वेंट. द यार्डस्टिक मस्ट बी जस्टिफाइड एंड द नीड फॉर द शेयर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. Now, if you look at the recent part, I mean, recently there was cyclone Michum, which was there in Chennai, and it still felt the impact. और खास करके अगर बात करें चेन्नई के रीजन में, चेन्नई में अभी भी पीपल आर एक्चुअली नॉट ओवरकम विद द प्रॉब्लम्स, राइट. 2015 में भी इस तरह की डेवास्टिकेटिंग रेनफॉल देखी गई थी उस रीजन में, which has called for more precaution and believe that the tragic the flooding which is there in the region will be taken care of. But same thing has been repeated in 2023 with minimal progress and the minimal learning which was there from 2015 onwards. Accountability is something which is very important at this juncture, where a lot of people livelihood are there at this stake. We have a ample age group defining from children to the elderly, and even for the senior citizen, we have to take everyone into considerations. Now, moving ahead, danger in a home without power. See, whenever there is this kind of calamity which is there, natural calamity is there, there's a bit obvious that the electricity supply is brutally disrupted, right? And it is done with the broad prevention to ensure that there's a preventive measures to even जो risk होते हैं electrocutions के, उसको बचने के लिए, उससे बचने के लिए ये efforts ली जाती है. But again, जो neighborhood में इस तरह की darkness होती है, उसके down side भी है, उसके negative consequences भी हैं. जो elderly है, they can even fall, they can even broke their legs, hips, and other region that call for a more even suffering. And some people, even the people elderly are not aware what actually is there. So even this can the part of the electricity cut can even lead to some of the heart attacks which is there, right? So in Tamil Nadu there are 13.8 crore of people who are age of 60. They have been living alone with the limited assistance, and despite the fact if the electricity supplies continue to be halt for a good number of days, then it will create more problem for them, right? So an area-wide problem disruption is a part of signal hazard, specifically in the region where there is a lot of downpour in the region. Now, decision making in crisis की बात करें, how it can be dealt with, very very important for general studies paper 4 as well. So decision making इस तरह के crisis में एक emotional challenge होती है, and even you write the emotional dilemmas which is there, तो dilemmas भी आपको cater करनी पड़ती है case studies में. तो major disaster में it become very rigorous test to have an intellect, analysis, personal resilience, and devastating natural event. The potential cost of mistake loom with the large makers, and even more often the conservation options being preferred. Shuttering off the electric supply in the event of the storm cannot have a life save. But restoring the supply promptly is also vital to save their life, safeguarding the again terrible individual consequences, right? And moving ahead, the yardstick must be justified. The government of India and actually the government officials, I mean, be it from any state, they have to first take into consideration कि किस तरह से electricity cut off जो की जाती है वो कितनी justified है, and how this decision is actually proving for the life saving. Real time basis पे उसके कुछ positive impact है या negative impact है, दोनों चीजों को counter करने की जरूरत है. Premature restorations and while justifiable power cuts can also have a significant mortality risk as well. Decision making is complex in this situation, specifically natural disaster. There's a requiring for appreciation and expert opinion. The opinion of the expert is a mandate here. Call for public transparency, which should be taken into consideration because every household, every individual age group is something which is at vulnerability. So this need to be taken into consideration. And lesson from 2015 should be learned to ensure that we are working for a welfare for the mass of the population in this specific region where the hazardous has actually taken place. Now, what is the need for shared responsibility? See, in a democratic setup, अगर बात करें इंडिया की, no person or entity should be wired with unchecked power because this decision is important that we need to cut the power for a shorter duration, but longer impact भी देखने की जरूरत है. The decision makers need to have a choice of their impact with the millions of people which are actually suffering on the region, and this makes situation more worse for them day by day. The underlying principle is a decision making which should be taken into consideration with a rational evidence and subject to review. So there should be rationality which should be there. First, the rationality and the outcome which is there should be taken into consideration. If the decision is indefensible, they should be promptly returned or modified. If it is required, see, every decision that is taken by an individual or the government official might not be correct. So they can make a changes, they can make a tweak on that as well. Now, while shifting of electricity supply with the extreme weather can be a life-saving, restoring the power without delay and avert the problem for many. So this is how the entire process can take place, ensuring that the restoration process is going and even the people, the specific age group are being adequately addressed with the desired problems. Moving ahead with the answers and discussion for yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option was A. This is for question that we have put up in Saturday sessions. तो यहाँ पे question 1 की जो option A है वो correct है. The option number D, the option A is correct. So you check out which you have marked as a correct option. You can read out the explanation from here. The second question, again the option here is A, again correct. So this was about the part where we have asked about the details of that. So check out जो prizes हैं खास करके वो किनको दी जाती है, which are the thing that has been taken into consideration. So the statement 2 is correct. Do check out what you have marked as a correct option. Now moving ahead with the today's MCQ question for the day. The first question is about the electronic soil. It is designed for the soilless farming. It is only compatible with the soil that grew hydroponically. It's made for cellulose and other conductive polymers. So check out what you will be marking as the correct option. You can participate in the question answer by writing the question number 1 followed by your correct option in the comment section down below, and you can drop your answer in the comment section, right? Now the second question for the day is about the Sri Muklinga temple. So it was a capital of the eastern Ganga's dynasty. It's a famous for 3 Shivas temple. So do participate and write your answer in the comment section by putting up question number first, then writing your correct answer, and you can drop your answer in the comment section down below. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, queries about test series, admissions, programs, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for staying connected.